So thank you all for coming. My name is Michael Bendit. I am the founder, but also a member of the Trusted Referral Network. And my business, Software Development Resources, is a rep firm for software development teams. And today I want to talk about partnering for web and mobile development and what that's all about. So this is what we do. We're a software development sales agency. I sometimes say we, it's not really the royal we. I am a sole practitioner, but I represent about 10 different boutique software development teams, 3 domestic and 7 dual shore. And most of the work that I do is with my dual shore teams. We focus on technology implementation. So we tend to partner with designers, marketing agencies for creative, and we're therefore non-competitive with those agencies. My bread and butter capabilities are, it's really 90% of the work is, as you would imagine, it's content management systems. So we do a lot of work on WordPress. AEM is something that's more sophisticated, but bigger organizations use it. It's Adobe Experience Manager, Drupal, Expression Engine. Those are all examples of content management systems. WordPress is still sort of the behemoth, the 800-pound gorilla in terms of its prevalence on the internet. So we do a lot of WordPress work. We do a lot of e-commerce work, again, mostly with the most common systems. So Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce, Magento. We do mobile sites and mobile apps, so Android and iOS, and also custom programming and integration. And then we've got some specialty capabilities, which represents about 10% of the work. Those are highly interactive media, things like virtual and augmented reality and 3D modeling. I've got a team that specializes in big data. They do artificial intelligence, machine learning, data visualization, blockchain applications, and I'll talk about a couple of those. Our approach, and I only work with teams that do have a really client-centric development approach. It may seem obvious, but it's not always the case. So my job is to start with the client's needs and then select the right technology, if they haven't already selected a technology, and the right team for that. And the focus really for me is to provide the maximum value for clients' development investment. So if it's a startup, for example, we're usually building a minimal viable product. My philosophy is, get something up, get it moving, something that will prove your concept. So it makes that first release faster and cheaper. We always take advantage of vetted third-party components, including the platforms themselves, plugins, shopping carts, and things like that. And we focus on the most widely used technology platforms, some of which I just mentioned in the prior slide, a lot of which are open source. Really important is we stay in constant communication with the client. It's very easy for the development team, if you're not in constant communication, to start diverging from what the client wants or what the client needs. It's important that we start with very well-defined requirements and specifications so that we can bound the scope, because most of our work is fixed price. So if we don't bound the scope and define it, there's going to be a divergence of understanding as to what needs to be built. And so that communications is, we conduct weekly status updates, usually using some sort of collaborative management, project management tool. And if there is something that comes up that's out of scope, we try to identify it and flag it as early as possible. And then, of course, really, there's no substitute for integrity. We never underbid to win a project and then plan to make it up on overruns. We stick to our fixed bid commitments. Occasionally we'll lose money on a project, but we'd rather lose our money than a reputation. And we admit and fix mistakes, and we do it within the budget. So let's talk a little bit about sort of the cost savings of offshore developers. I use mostly a hybrid model or a dual shore model where we have some people onshore, but most of them offshore. And this is just a data that I got from, I can't remember where it was, somewhere on the web. It was a blog that somebody wrote, having done some research. about the average costs in different countries of developers. The more orange, the higher price, the more green, the lower price. You can see, East Asia, China, India, parts of Africa are the cheapest. As you get aligned with the US time zone, it gets more expensive. Certainly Mexico, Argentina, Chile are more expensive. And then Eastern Europe and some parts of Central America are somewhere in the middle. And those are really where my teams are, at least the offshore portion. So India and Bangladesh, Ukraine, Russia, and Hungary, and Guatemala, Uruguay, and Argentina. So I talked about the dual shore model. And the way that works is you don't get the full benefit of the offshore savings because some of the people are onshore. But it depends on the blending, on the blend of those skills and those people. Typically this is a pretty typical mix. So you might have an offshore team that would be $40 an hour offshore if you went completely offshore, and the domestic team is about $150 an hour. But it's blended with about 90% offshore and 10% onshore or domestic, and so you end up with something that's slightly over $50 an hour. The more onshore you have, whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen. The more onshore you have, I'm trying to actually move this. I guess it's not going to happen. Oh, there you go. The more expensive it gets, right? So it went from 90% to 80% offshore, and the price is going to go up. So typically it's between 10 and 20% onshore resources or domestic resources, and 80% or 90% offshore. But that's not the only factor. The location isn't the only factor that impacts the price. Also the skills and the level of experience. So this just shows, across about 10 different languages or 12 different languages, with PHP tending to be the least expensive resource. But even across PHP, you can see you can get a senior level developer is going to cost $40 in a place like Ukraine. So that's another factor. What type of platform are you using? What type of language are you using? So what drives leads for SDRI, Software Development Resources, Inc.? There's usually about 4 different categories of folks that come to me. One is startups with an idea, but no real technical background, or a CTO that would provide guidance on technology, teams, and approach. We also work with small companies that maybe on the startup, or they're still young companies, but they need to upgrade. They might have started with a freelancer, and they need to upgrade to a more substantial team because either that freelancer is not available as they need. Maybe the freelancer moved on, taken a job, moved away, changed their business model. In fact, we recently got a project from a company where the freelancer just decided the job was too small for them. They're not going to take it on anymore. We do a lot of work with marketing agencies that need extra technical support. And that means it could be extra support to supplement their internal programming resources who might be tapped out, or it might be to address projects that require skills that they don't have internally, whether it's a platform or a language. And then sometimes for bigger projects that require a team rather than a freelancer, similar to the prior bullet point. And then occasionally we'll do work with larger companies that need a nimble, cost-effective project team, maybe because their IT resources just aren't available, right? They can't get their attention. It may not be strategic. Maybe they don't have the skills to address the particular requirement. And admit mistakes and fix them within budget. I don't know how that got in there. That was clearly a copy and paste. Partnership models. So we sort of break it down into development, design, and then branding and strategy. My team tends to be on the left, development. So oftentimes we'll do, work directly with a client or through an agency partner, either as a white label or as a referral partner. Sometimes we are doing the design. and working with an agency partner that's more focused on the branding and strategy. And sometimes the agency or the other partner is not a branding or strategy company. They just refer us. So sometimes you get business from like an IT organization, and the client is taking on more of the branding and strategy work, either independently or maybe they've got another agency. I'm at the 5-minute mark. I'm going to quickly hit one or two of these just to give you an example of some work we've done. So this was a WordPress. We built WordPress modules for a membership site. Some of you may be familiar with this, the Graphic Artists Guild, an agency that actually has some technical resources, and we split the work. They were moving from Expression Engine to WordPress. They needed to replicate and enhance their membership functionality with WordPress plugins. But their internal team didn't really have a lot of technical experience, deep technical experience with these WordPress plugins. And so our biggest challenge was coordinating the work because we were really splitting the development work, which is a little bit unusual. And so our job was to implement modules and a range of enhancements. I'll do one more and then I'll just jump to Q&A. Magento, I have a team that actually focuses specifically on Magento rescue and maintenance. This was a case for a hobby drone shop. We were addressing, they really had major site performance issues, which is not uncommon with Magento. They were also doing a major upgrade, so they needed to upgrade from Magento 1.9, I think it was, to 2.1. So what we did was we added expertise to the client's internal team. They also had some basic Magento experience, but were not, couldn't do the transition to the new upgrade themselves. They needed extra support. And so we're providing that ongoing support and maintenance. Okay, I'm just gonna flip through some of this stuff and get right to the bottom. How we partner with agencies. We're oftentimes a supplement to the internal development team. We work with the agency to decide which platform or technology is the best fit and then match the team with the right expertise. We can work as either a subcontractor or a referral partner to an agency. And our services are free to the agency or to the, we get paid by the teams that we represent on a commission only basis. So we're free to the agencies we partner with, and we are free to the clients. I mean, ultimately that cost is built into the pricing, but it's just a cost of sale. So let's, I will stop share and we can go directly to Q&A. Let's see. In chat, we had a couple questions. Okay, starting from the top. Let's see. What is your involvement once a project is underway? So I tend to, my teams are very self-sufficient. They've got salespeople, they've got project managers, they've got account managers. I tend to be more like a backup account manager. So I'm there for, certainly up to and through the sale and the launch of the project. After that, I sort of take a back seat and am there as sort of a backup account manager should there be any issues that need to be addressed. And thank you, Sharon, for that question. Bryce, do you loan out skills developers for an hourly rate, or do you just work on overall project basis? We do work on an hourly rate as well. That's called staff augmentation. And it tends to be a smaller part of my work. Most of my work happens to be on a project basis. Dave Nadell, you said you do data visualization projects. Yes, and you asked me about 3D. Yes, or D3. Yes, we in fact are doing one right now, working on a 3D project for a furniture manufacturer. They needed extra help rendering their 3D, their models. They actually designed the furniture, put it up on their website for new furniture, and they don't build it unless it sells. So they need a 3D model to actually show it before it's actually built. Ken, how do you determine onshore versus offshore assets? It's the teams I pick. It's usually once I pick a team, it's established. They've usually got I'm out of time. They usually have this 10%, 90% mix. It will vary a little bit depending on the size of the project. So the larger the project and the longer, the more you can move offshore. The less of a resource you need locally, because you only really need one project manager and one account manager. And those tend to be the onshore resources. And it could be a team of, 5, 10 people, or it could be just one developer. So the balance will change depending on the size typically. Yes, 3D, not 3D3. How do you and the client work on legal compliance, including ADA? That was from Audrey, of course. My teams do ADA compliance work as well, both from scratch and taking that on with existing sites that need to be upgraded. So we are cognizant of that, particularly in the WordPress space, just because we do so much WordPress. And I think that's pretty much it, unless there's one last burning question that somebody might have. I'm happy to take it on. All right. So I'm going to take a screenshot. And the reason I'm going to take a screenshot, hold on, I'm going to shut this down. Is because I need to get, actually, I guess I could just go with it as it is. So we're going to do, based on when people showed up or how they're showing up in my my screen here, 2 minutes each. Since we have 15 people, it's going to be a bit tight. But 2-minute intro. We'll go Faith, Rochelle, Nikki, so in the order that people showed up, and I will start a timer. Faith, are you ready?
Do I have to unmute?
Yes, you are good.
I'm good. Okay. Hi, my name is Faith Thomasus. I'm a verbal communications specialist, and what I do falls into 3 main areas: copywriting, name development, and any kind of brand strategy or communications planning that would go into a branding project. I've got a wide area of expertise. I'm a generalist, and am a sole proprietor, but if I get a very large name job, I will bring in other specialists to help me. And I'm very glad to meet everyone. I've just put down my name and my website, which has just been redesigned, and I'm very excited about it. And I don't know my LinkedIn profile. I assume I'm the only Faith Thomasus in the world, so you should be able to find me. And look forward to meeting everyone.
You have another minute. Anything else you want to add, or any
Another
questions?
minute. That's my specialty is I write the way that I talk, which is I don't waste words. I'm very concise and get to the point quickly. And so generally have extra time when I give a little introduction about myself.
All right.
So,
We'll take it. All right.
Do I have more time?
You could give it up. You could use it.
Oh, okay. I'll cede to the floor.
Cede to the floor. Okay.
Is that
Really,
the right
very,
word?
very senatorial of you. Okay. Next, Rochelle, you are up.
Hi there, it's Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth, and I always say it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. And right now when we're working, I really believe our main focus needs to be business development. And when we are focusing on business development, I always ask, are you clear about who is your ideal client? And more important, are you telling me amazing stories on how you service them? Most people do what I call an information dump. I'm in business for 25 years. I'm located in Midtown Manhattan. And my response is I couldn't care less. So I want to hear a story on how do you pull a rabbit out of a hat, so that based on your story, I'm going to see that you're like, the go-to person. So with that in mind, I have a program. I'm going to start my first virtual program, my first virtual group program, starting on May 5th. And we're going to zero in over 6 weeks. We're going to zero in on who's your ideal client and what are the great stories that you tell that show your expertise so that somebody can really raise their hand, give you a credit card and say, let's start. So it's May 5th. It's over 6 weeks. I do have a landing page called ultimatepowerpitch.com. And if you would know of anybody that this would be a great fit for, I really appreciate that, that introduction. And that's it for me for the moment.
All right. People are being very terse, which is great. Okay. Nikki, and yes, Bryce asked if we could share the screen. I just made it available. So if you want to share a screen, but Nikki, you are up.
Hi, everybody. I'm new to the group. My name is Nikki Fielding. I'm the president of Digital Brand Expressions. My team are the experts in search engine and social media marketing. So we're the ones that you want to refer to when you have clients, sometimes other agencies that are either stuck on a particular issue with their marketing analytics or their search engine marketing or social media marketing. Or more typically, we're called in as consultants and we help our clients evaluate why they're not hitting the specific goals that they need to hit with the programs they're already running. So we seldom work with startup companies. We're typically working with middle market companies that already are doing search and social. Something's not working the way they expect it to. And we come in and help them quantify what the opportunities are, what they should be able to achieve. We audit their marketplace and then we build programs for them that are going to hit those numbers and then continue to improve over time. So I'll put my LinkedIn profile in the chat and I cede the rest of the time to the rest of the team.
All right. And Nikki, you and Bryce should talk. He'll tell you a bit about the technology that they're offering to agencies. Okay. So actually, Bryce is next. By the way, I'm going to drop in the chat the order in which people showed up. And Bryce looks like he is sharing his screen.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Bryce. I'm the VP of Sales for Mind of a Marketer. We're essentially an arms dealer for other marketing companies. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about Cannibal, which is what Michael was referring to. So as you can see here, this is a search engine marketing campaign. This is from one of our clients. They installed Cannibal in October here. It dropped through the floor, saved them $30,000 a month out of the $100K that they spent, basically a 30% savings. We typically see savings with this technology of between 5 and 15%, 10% average, but that spiked up to as much as 30% for a couple examples. As an example, ADT.com, I did a scan of a couple weeks ago. We could save them about 14% of their spend, which is about 150K off of 1.1 million a month. We have a number of really large companies, Fortune 500s, that are using this, that are saving an ungodly amount of money. This works specifically for SEM. We do have some other technologies that are really cool, but this is our main push for 2021. And we have a pretty robust system. So this is always cost negative. There's about a $50,000 per month minimum for spending on SEM for this, for it to work. But we charge 33% of whatever we save the company, and they keep 67% of the savings. The structure that we have, if you want to do referrals with us, is we pay 5% of the profit for as long as a company is a client of ours. And yeah, if you know anybody that spends a great deal of money on SEM, or you're an agency that has clients that do this, talk to me and we can make some money and save some money. And I'll post my my information in the chat. And I see my time.
And when you say SEM, I think you're specifically talking about Google AdWords, correct?
Yeah, SEM.
Okay. Believe it or not, there are some other companies like Bing, but it's so small.
They don't matter. They literally don't matter.
All right. Thank you, Bryce. Okay, next up, Audrey Glover-Dichter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Glover-Dichter, and I'm an attorney. And if you don't want to get sued or fined, that don't lie in your marketing campaign or your client's marketing campaign. Now, as marketers, I'm sure you know that already. And I work with marketing agencies, PR, and of course, website designers in order to review all the marketing products, all the marketing, like the whole campaign, especially your online presence for legal compliance with advertising law, federal, state, national, or local. Intellectual property, make sure you're not infringing, or if we need to file clearances. And of course, there's ADA online compliance and all the privacy documentation that you need. I draft those for you to be legally compliant with privacy law as well. I do everything in English and Spanish. And why is this important? Well, Pepsi just settled a $9 million lawsuit because they lied in their campaign. One of their beverages, they said that it was, you know, I think it was naked. I don't have the case in front of me, but it was the naked juices. They were being advertised as healthy and clean and so on and so forth. But the problem was that it was proven that it was not natural and that it had a lot of chemicals and a lot of guck in them. And now they're settling the case for $9 million. So the whole point of having your campaign reviewed, and Pepsi has a whole in-house team, so I don't know how they did this, but it's to make sure that you are compliant, that you're not a lawyer and your website designer or your tech team are not lawyers. They're amazing creatives. They're really good at what they do. But seriously consider having lawyers part of your team, because I look for things that you may not know about, and I look for things that your team may not know about. So I do team up with businesses, and the whole point of working with me is to protect your business from potential lawsuits or fines from federal, state, or local agencies that are quite hefty.
And I will add that Audrey is the most out there networker in the marketing space as a lawyer that I've seen. A lot of lawyers that I've spoken to do IP work, and they're not quite as out there offering their services. So
Well,
thank you for that.
so much, Michael. Well,
Absolutely.
I'm a one-stop shop, because instead of needing 4 different lawyers, you come to me and I'll do the advertising law, I'll do the intellectual property, I'll do the privacy, and I'll do the ADA online compliance. So instead of needing 4 different lawyers, you just get one, and I do English and Spanish.
Thank you.
So save you time and money. Thank you.
Dave Nadell, you are up.
Hello, I'm Dave Nadell. I am operating an agency called Ventropy Media right now. It's digital marketing, a lot of what you guys all do. We work with agencies and end user clients and help with websites and digital marketing to drive more effective marketing with data-driven optimization. So my focus recently and more has been on helping clients with user experience and user interface, aka conversion optimization. Previously, I had been focused on driving traffic to the site with either SEO or paid means, but you know, sometimes the sites weren't performing, or the marketing. You know, the client would say the marketing is not performing, even though the metrics for SEO were going great and the metrics for paid were going great. Something was not working on the site. So more and more I've been working with teams of UX professionals and UI teams and developers, and not doing web development per se, but doing iterative conversion optimizations on sites. And I also help with paid search and SEO. That is what I do. I look forward to working with any and all of you. Sometimes we might have opportunities to share clients or work on projects together. So I see the rest of my time back.
Wonderful. And we should definitely talk about 3D if you need help there. Okay, Dave, that was Dave. Howard, then Jeff, then Ken. Howard, you are up.
Thanks, everyone. I'm Howard Levy. My company is Red Rooster Group. The website's redroostergroup.com. Wake up your brand is our theme. We help organizations, particularly nonprofit organizations, to wake up their brands, marketing and fundraising. So an organization has hit some type of plateau or status quo, their marketing is not working, their organizational name or brand is not working, fundraising is not working as well as it should. They call us in and we come in and we transform the organization. I'll give three quick examples. One, on a name change, there was an organization that is 185 years old. They had a lot of history, but their name was no longer serving their interest, and they had to go through a process to revamp the organizational brand. We led them through that process to successfully change the name, visual identity, new website, and get them on the path to success. And they acquired another agency and are thriving. In terms of the marketing, we employ digital tactics to engage audiences. An organization called us in to run a campaign in which to get people to come to their landing page and vote. I mean, put their email in. Their expectation was to get 75,000 people. We got them over 250,000, more than 3 times their goal. And when it comes to fundraising, we do fantastic campaigns that really understand donor psychology and craft stories that drive action. We're working with an organization in California that runs 24 facilities for people who are homeless. In the latest campaign we did, we raised $2 million for them, which was a hallmark for the organization. So when you want results, come to Red Rooster Group. Again, we specialize in nonprofit organizations, but also work with businesses. So Red Rooster Group, wake up your brand. Thanks.
And Howard presented last week. So if you want to see his presentation from last week, it was recorded, as all of these meetings are. And it was in my newsletter. So there's a link directly to that YouTube in my newsletter. All right, Ken Simon, you're up. You may be on mute, Ken.
I thought Jeff was going. It's okay.
Oh, sorry. You know what? You're right. It's supposed to be Jeff. Why don't you go, Ken, and then it'll do Jeff. I missed. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi. I wasn't ready. Okay. Ken Simon, KBS Marketing. I work with small and mid-sized businesses to help them understand who their customers are, what their needs are, and then develop the strategies for them to use, whether it be digital marketing, offline marketing, online marketing, etc. I've worked with financial services industry, technology companies and manufacturers, as well as small, small businesses as well, also. I'm looking to help companies who want to understand who their customers are and grow their business. And I work with a variety of different companies, helping them, if I need blogging, I'll go to blogging support, or I'll also use people who need website development. I'll work with other people to do the website development as well, and I'll control, I'll coordinate the aspects with them as project management. So if you need help, or if you know people who are looking to develop strategies to reach their customers or grow their business, that's what I do.
Very cool. Thank you so much. And Jeff, we'll go back in order. Jeff, you're up.
Good. Jeff Swartz, president of Ethic Advertising Agency in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Our specialty is hyper-targeted digital advertising using a variety of different resources and creative, predominantly the creative that kind of goes with the advertising. So video, audio, animation, and graphic design work as well too. One of the things is I know we have a lot of crossover here, that maybe is a little bit of a differentiator for us is we are direct and self-managed on what's called a simplified DSP, so programmatic advertising for banner ads and video pre-roll ads and OTT ads. We're one of the smaller companies that has access to it just as the entry point is so expensive, and a lot of ad agencies will use us to get access to that technology, which is very heavy into things like geofencing, keyword targeting, contextual targeting, site retargeting for banner ads and digital video ads. And we kind of get them in at a lower price point with better results as well too. So that's a little bit of a differentiator when in talking with other agencies that are kind of similar, as a little bit of a gap filler for those kind of things, as well as some of the creative services, and have an understanding how creative matched with certain digital mediums is very important and needs to be done in a little bit of a different way.
Very cool. Were you the one that was telling me about people being able to cross-reference people doing a search on Google and like targeting, very tight geo-targeting down to their house for some legal service? Or was that somebody else?
Might have been somebody else, but there's some, I think it was somebody else, but I know the connection of what they're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty ingenious. Okay, that was Jeff. Ken. Lynn, you're up.
Hi everyone, I am a PowerPoint builder. I have a company called Dex, dekcs.com, where I help marketing consultant and small agencies build out their PowerPoint presentations. I also work on Canvas and Google Slides. I also have 10 plus years of experience doing paid search. So one of the specialties I offer is to audit their clients or prospective clients' marketing campaigns. These audits come in as a one-time project for a lot of the small agencies where they have to present their pitch to the clients. I'll come in and I do an audit and give the insights to the companies and show them how they can provide values to their future clients. So my name is Ling, and you can contact me at dekcs.com. I sent the link here.
And it is misspelled purposely.
Correct, yeah.
All right. Liz, then Loretta, then Sharon.
Hi. It's actually Lee. It's pronounced Lee's, even though it's spelled.
Yeah.
So I've been working in tech PR for about 25 years, and I founded my agency, which is called Bazzini Hop, with my partner, Karen Hop, 12 years ago. Our experience really runs the gamut across tech sectors. We work primarily with B2B companies, but we also have significant experience with consumer brands. Our sweet spot is working with startups and growth stage companies, but we've also represented global organizations. And while we focus on traditional PR, which is mostly media relations and thought leadership, we have also expanded our capabilities in the last few years to include event management and social media and influencer programs. And to Rochelle's point, we do all this to help increase exposure for our clients to their target audiences, which may be clients, partners, or even talent. And ultimately, we do this to help move the needle and really generate business results, whatever that may be, whatever their marketing goals are. Bazzini Hop was really built on referrals and repeat business. And we choose to work with a small client base, about 4 or 5 clients, because Karen and I do all the work. So we only offer senior level talent. And we really pride ourselves in becoming an extension of our clients' teams, of their marketing teams. So we're really an ideal fit for companies that want to expand their internal resources or expertise in the areas that we offer. And we've always worked from home offices, so our rates are reflective of low overhead. And finally, we're known for being really proactive and responsive and nimble. Thank you.
And Lise is doing some great work for somebody who's in one of my other networking groups, who is an e-commerce consultant, and helping him grow tremendously. Okay, that was Lise, Loretta, then Sharon, then Steve.
Yeah, it was nice, Michael. I like the way you did 3 women whose names started with L right in a row. So even 2 LLs. So that was kind of fun. Anyway, I am Loretta Lurie, and I have predominantly a relatively large agency background, both in media and account service. Most recently, media. I've worked across all mediums, running teams on large pieces of business, most recently in telecom, and before that in pharmaceuticals, which is where most of my last 10 years has been spent. I've worked with a couple of publishers, And I'm looking for fractional work right now. Bryce and I met last week, thanks to Michael, with Michael there as well, hoping that maybe we can do some work together, talking to some other people about doing some similar things along those lines. But also, if any of you that have agency types of things that you're working with clients and you need somebody to pitch in on a fractional basis, I'm very adept at being able to help with client relationships and managing projects to get things done. So that's pretty much who I am and what I'm doing.
Thank you so much, Loretta, for that and for meeting with me and Bryce last week. Cool. Sharon, who is new, and Steve Isaacson, who's new. So Sharon, you're up.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Sharon Shanzer. My company is RLD Group. This is my 21st year anniversary of my business. I was supposed to be celebrating my 20th last year, but pandemic got in the way. So I'm hoping to find some way to celebrate it. Anyway, I am a graphic designer slash developer. I started out specializing in print work. And then, as you've probably all heard, the web came along. So I do print and web design and development. So my specialties are sort of generic print work, anything from business cards, brochures, etc. A lot of trade show graphics, packaging, and then I also do a lot of work in WordPress and Shopify. So I sort of wear many hats. I do most of the work myself. I'm a solo entrepreneur. As I said, I've been in business for 20 plus years. I've always worked from home for the most part. So this sort of pandemic blip hasn't really impacted my day-to-day business or my day-to-day life very, very much, except in obvious ways. I also do a lot of project management. So sometimes I'll get involved with just managing large projects for my existing clients because I'm a good project manager. So sometimes they have me doing all the work. Sometimes they have me just managing all the work. It varies. I work in a lot of different industries from banking, pharmaceutical, technology. My background is in IT. So I tend to get involved in sort of very complex technical projects or companies that have very complex technical needs. Because I understand a lot of technology that a lot of designers don't understand. I also work with startups and small companies. Really, I come in and I can help people even set up their companies in terms of their invoicing or I have companies that I just set up their domain names. I haven't even registered their domain names. So it's kind of a soup to nuts situation, but mostly around design. The end product is almost always some sort of design product. And again, I've been in business for 21 years, Sharon Shanzer, RLD Group, and it's really nice to meet everybody. Thank you for having me.
Good timing. Yeah, Sharon is a Jane of all trades, and she can do amazing things just, right out of her. Was it Felix the cat bag? What was the one that had a bag of tricks and could do everything? It was not Felix, it was some other cat.
Yeah.
Cartoon cat, whatever.
Yeah, no, I know it's sort of vague. No, I don't know what it sort of sounds familiar, but it's not something I've used in my business language before. But yes, many hats. I wear many hats. My name is Felix the cat. You can call me that from now on.
All right. Steve Isaacson maybe remembers Felix the cat. I don't know. Steve, you're up. Steve, are you here? Oh my God. Oh, is he on mute? There, you're on mute, Steve. You're on mute. You're still on mute. Steve, you're on mute.
Mike, you should be able to unmute him.
I'm trying to ask. I can ask to unmute.
Sorry about that. My name is Steve Isaacson. I'm a rock star and a trusted resource for printing and promotional products. If you're not promoting yourself with me, the rock star, it's like winking in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. I've been doing this for over 40 years. My family's been in printing for over 100 years. I come up with insanely great ideas. I help my clients get noticed and be remembered. Most of you are all involved with what I consider two-dimensional marketing. I'm in three-dimensional marketing, something you can hold in your hand, something that will connect you with an emotional response, something that will drive eyeballs to your website. And that's what I do. Basically, I specialize in printing, promotional products, graphics, decorated apparel. I've been doing tons of custom face masks. Schedule an appointment, you can find out more about me, but I've got a Zoom in 2 minutes. So it was nice listening to you all. And thank you, Michael, for inviting me.
Absolutely. And you have to tell me how you get that timer up behind you. That's really cool. All right. Oh, look at that overtime. Very cool. All right. I think I don't think I've missed anybody, right? Did anybody not get a chance to go? Okay.